Many Yogi pick up from you she mean at you come on at the other Atuya. Now she gave me the Kenyan Atuya. She got to Kenya, looking at Taiwan. You are got power now. And to show you the yogi one. Nalali Melu only by it. There is really got power now, poison answer. No, she gave me the chance that I never the Tinero the Divitan Kai Kagui, Chow Kira Family. Divitan Kai Kagui solo. Adabuya Yogi Yaga. Immediately, I told you, Sydney near Hago. Who let a short chat like a Sydney Charlie that you didn't think about. She got Jaja, Yojingo. This is a Sadio. Kangane, Kanya, Saudi, South of Australia. Only that the EG. Only Combo, only Kangambo. I don't go on Kangane, only for my Tisawar Saruha. Kangambino, Kanganya, Lara Baba. You have a Saudi, so they see immediately or what the near Senisi Kari Lala Power, Kipuya, Tisauya Power, Shigan Jari, Spirit ABCD Kaika, we will be it. Pijazo, a Pijazo, a Mankazo. Congo, Sudan, is a in a little 2 pounds a little. She didn't forget about me.
Yesterday, our Venerable Sadhu explained on the 4 guardian meditations, the Chatura Rakha Bhavana, which need to be developed by the meditators in order to develop the mind and also in order to advance in insight knowledge, and while doing this to be free from disturbances. And these 4 guardian meditations have been practiced since ancient times. There's a tradition of practicing these 4 guardian meditations, and you will have understood the 4 guardian meditations. And by practicing these guardian meditations, you'll be free from disturbances and obstructions. Today, the topic of the discourse is the ABC of Satipatthana. Now, giving a talk on the ABC of Satipatthana, please don't feel somewhat downgraded. Giving a talk on this subject is meant to build a foundation in the meditation or for the meditation practice. And just like when one is constructing a building, the foundation is important. When the foundation is strong, and firm, and then the building too will be strong and firm, and the building can become beautiful. Likewise, in beautifying the mind, the ABC of Satipatthana is the best, the most precise, and the most certain foundation we can build on. And this will be explained today during the discourse.
Self-research. The Google Lila Kama Peter Matthew, the review someone said how to die. Whoever teacher body iron 3 target cities in Jabiro. The case she always needed. Yona, they are a good team. Salutinio Atoya, she was the tea male, shint named any jelly body. Caboya Killa Lucian never penuta in Kuzapia. I never Nini. Nini Mamma to argue with the look at it. Kudubawana Ari will not be so she Abila Kama. The case Hochi Yunan Diari, Jojo Sepoli, and yes, over for a year so. Pancha Sapia, she came into Satara. Tila Mama. Eka Jamadi Loha. Tilida Rigo. Anne of Nini of the teacher, Shinlin Piatari, a condo of Lopez, looking at the Wopam. You look at how you have Chiga Jaja, Tidi Jaja, these alumni also, you know. Shoot when are you going? She got charge of the stock. Look at it.
According to the practice of Satipatthana, one can understand the practice of Satipatthana to be a form of self-research, namely doing research into oneself. Now, according to the maxim, guard the mind with vigilant mindfulness at the moment of every arising, whenever an object arises, one has to know it. One has to know the mind and matter, nama rupa, according to reality, as it really is. And then, in order to know the reality, one has to protect the mind against the attack by the mental defilements. And in case of a lack of mindfulness, sati, it may happen that mental defilements arise in the mind, and in this case one needs to cure the mental defilements. One needs to dispel or remove them from the mind. And by the means of prevention and cure, one has to suppress these mental defilements. And by doing so, gradually the the unwholesome mental states will be suppressed, and the wholesome mental states, kusala mental states, will arise. And accordingly, one will start to discern mind from matter, nama and rupa. One will discern the cause from the effect, and one will also understand the three universal characteristics of impermanence, anicca, of unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and of non-self, anatta. And at that time, a meditator will understand very well that indeed Satipatthana, the foundations of mindfulness, are the best and the most precise and the most certain work to do. And for this, it is necessary to explain on the basics of the different objects of observation. The type of objects that arise in the body are basically of two kinds, namely the distinct materiality and the distinct mentality. In Pali, rupa for materiality and nama for mentality. Now, under the term rupa falls the entire body. And so rupa translates as materiality. And this materiality or body does not know. It does not have the ability to know things. Now, as for nama, one translates it as mentality or mind. And it comprises such activities or such things as the seeing consciousness, the hearing consciousness, the smelling consciousness, the tasting consciousness, the touching consciousness, and the thinking consciousness. And so the sum of these together make up mentality or nama. And so you should understand in this way.
don't think to tell it that seen that than that do what very Janet Yukiari Tia Tana and he never how could Jim Jam Doya can't tell it about how they were but we did look for it. Sugar came at Jendan and Nunya take can't tell that but we did do not about it.
The basis for our body consists of the so-called 4 dhatus, or in English, the 4 primary elements. And out of these 4 primary elements, the first one is called Patavi dhatu, or the earth element. And it is experienced as hardness, roughness, softness, gentleness, and also being touched. And for instance, when one experiences a bone, then one will find hardness, roughness, and like the veins and arteries, the skin, all the other parts of the body are characterized by softness. Now, Patavi dhatu is the foundation for the other 3 primary elements. So heat, cold, then the cohesion and movement, all of these are founded upon the earth element. And so under Patavi dhatu we understand things like hardness, roughness, softness, and being touched.
Yeah, about that to the Bava, you see that, see that, Luna, Kera, Sikata, Sutana, Luna, Kera, Licha, about the look for everybody, Eureka, everybody, Eureka. I would have been shower. Whoever my KK, 2 KK, E KK, don't KK, think KK, I finish the camera. What in shower? You know, Lily Jador, you know, direct in shower. I would you see that, proceeded that.
Now the second primary element is Apo dhatu, the so-called water element, or the element of cohesion. And experiences like flowing, dripping, and forming, and trickling, and also compactness, moisture, stickiness, heaviness. It must be lightness. All of these come under Apo Dhatu. And they may manifest as perspiration or any other fluids arising in the body. And also lumps of compact lumps of tension, stiffness, hardness, heat, cold, etc. All of these too are aspects of the water element. And Apo Dhatu has the nature of cohesion. It holds together the elements.
Tijo Dhatu Sadagaro Pura, Nuera, Era, Pote Dora. Tijo Dhatu cover a wait up on Pura, Nuita Tina, Pura, Nuishi, 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 Nuita Soya, Pote Dora, Washi, Tijo Dhatu cover.
I have to correct. Under Apo Dhatu, it was heaviness, not lightness. Sorry. The third, or as for Tejo Dhatu, the temperature element, it manifests as heat, cold, warmth, and also lightness and uprising. And yes, so everything related to temperature comes under Tejo Dhatu.
Tauna, Dina, Yora, Dunkana, Lushara, Wayota Kora, Kurema, and that's the shower.
As for the next one, and the last one, Vayu Dhatu, this translates as the wind element or the element of motion. And it is experienced as distension, as tension, stiffness, tightness, relaxation, and motion. So Vayu, all of these are aspects of Vayu Dhatu. And this Vayu Dhatu is very distinct in the body. Now, as for other objects, they too depend on the four primary elements. And other objects, by other objects we mean sights, sounds, odors, flavors, and bodily impressions, etc. And also the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and the body. To explain all of these would be a bit confusing, and therefore the Venerable Sayadaw therefore the Venerable Sayadaw will limit himself just to the basics, to this much.
Yeah, was since the Kali Sansaji, the leader. The Kuideka, Saneka, Soneka, Nereka, Suareka, Laneka, Chareka. A day when you don't cut a melon bit of Punaga, Wayota, Cha, that told you did. David Kinshaman. You know, Lieutenant, what an idea, I took on there, so they see it. Having was an opinion, so that three can believe that I have so many a year. Tinshaya, I am not son, issue. Kalinia, Joe Saga, Tinganza, Nene, Tinganza, very, very well. And the Tinja, I took as a yogi. So I am thinking I will name it very side.
These primary elements occur all the time in animate beings and in inanimate beings and in inanimate things. And one cannot dissect things any further, not further than the four primary elements. And out of these four primary elements, the wind element, Vayodhatu, is the most predominant. In the sitting posture, it is Vayodhatu which is most predominant. Also in standing, in walking, and in lying down, in bending, stretching. Furthermore, when lifting, moving, and placing the foot, when opening and closing the eyes. In all these different postures and activities, there is movement, and the wind element is more predominant than the other elements. And when we practice Satipatthana meditation, we have to contemplate, first of all, on the distinct objects, and also on easy objects, and just a few objects. So once again, when we start out with the practice, we should limit our contemplation to a few and easy objects.
အခုထိုင်ပြီးတော့ရှုမှတ်တဲ့ယောဂီတွေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဖောင်းမှုပိန်မှုဟာရှုလေးရှိုက်လေးနဲ့ဆက်ပြီးတော့အမြဲတစေရှိနေတယ်ဒီရှုသုံးလိုက်ခြင်းဝါဘက်ကဖောင်းတယ်လားဒီပြန်ထုတ်လိုက်လို့ရှိရင်ဝါဘက်ကပိန်ရှက်သွားတယ်တောင့်တင်းတာညော့သွားတာတုံးကလှုပ်ရှားတာဒီလိုဒါတွေအမှန်ထင်ရှားပါတယ်ဖောင်းပိန်ဆိုတဲ့က rising falling ဆိုတာဒါတော့ဟာအသုံးလုံးပါပဲအဲဒီအသုံးလုံးကခေါ်ပြတဲ့သဘာဝကတော့တောင့်တင်းတာညော့သွားတာတုံးကလာလှုပ်ရှားတာအဲ့ဒါတွေကတော့တကယ်ရှိအဟုတ်ရှိတယ်ထင်နဲ့ထင်ရှားပါတယ်ဒီကတော့လွယ်လဲလွယ်ပါတယ်လွယ်ရကစပြီးတော့ရှုမှတ်ပါလို့မိမ့်ပါတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲဒီကလွယ်ရကစပြီးတော့ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါမှတ်တယ်ဆိုတော့ဘောရကိုကုသိုလ်ကြီးဘာမှထိုင်ရတယ်ဒီတော့ကောင်းတယ်ရှိတဲ့ဝမ်းပိုက်ကိုသိသိရတယ်ဒါကမှတော့ပြုရမယ်အစီအစဉ်ပါပဲဒီကြည့်တဲ့ဧည့်သည်ကျူဆိုတော့မယ်ဆိုတော့ဧည့်သည်လာရကနေပေါ်ပြီးတော့ကျူဆိုရပါတယ်ဧည့်သည်ရောက်တဲ့နေရာကလည်းကျူဆိုရပါတယ်ဧည့်သည်မလာတဲ့နေရာသွားကျူဆိုလို့မရဘူးဧည့်သည်လာတဲ့အချိန်ပါလည်းပဲချိန်ကိုက်ချအောင်ကျူဆိုရတယ်ဒါတော့အောင်းပေလေးကရှိလိုက်ချိန်ရှိပြီးတော့ဧည့်သည်တစ်ဖွဲ့ပါပဲဧည့်သည်မရှိပါဘူးသူဖြစ်လာလို့ဒီကအတိစိတ်နဲ့ကျူဆိုပြီးတော့ချိန်ကိုက်ကျူဆိုပြီးတော့ခွေးကိုက်ကျူဆိုပြီးတော့ဒီကြတော့လို့ရှိရင်လည်းအတိစိတ်နဲ့ကျူဆိုပြီးတော့ဒီကဘောဘက်ကစောက်ပြီးတော့ပါတယ်
As a yogi sits down to practice, that meditator will breathe in, and with the inhalation, the rising movement of the abdomen will take place, and there will be expansion. And so, in the expansion there is certain tension, and as the meditator exhales, the falling movement will take place, and one will find a contraction. Now, the terms rising movement and falling movement are just expressions or concepts, but the sensations like tension, stiffness, tightness, relaxation, etc., these really exist. And when one practices, one has to sit upright at an angle of 90 degrees to the floor. And if some important guest is about to come, then one has to be prepared for that important visitor, and one has to welcome him or her. But one should not go towards the place where the guest is, but rather wait, and then when the guest, the visitor arrives, then one should welcome him or her at the right time. Likewise, the same thing can be applied to our abdominal movements. When the rising movement takes place, we have to welcome it at the right time, neither too early nor too late. Likewise, when the falling movement takes place, then too we have to welcome it at the right time, neither too early nor too late.
Yeah, okay, so the Bangadoda Sachi Kirita Apuri Luchamu came needed on Kiluya alone. Here the way of Nisa video Nisa Mokaya or singing there on Kiluya alone. Singing there on Kiluya, Kunyi Tama, singing on Kiluya. Janet, the one area book. The Mahalan here, we need them to Savannah. You know, yet the area book, I never knew Nello so we may go lady in Tanta, like it. A lady, she did it, never time now, but that hour. You know, here was Levy, she got the look, I never take me to Tetalo, Agia. Here, Mother, since in Nikuya, she knew. Come a lecon was she knew. Messi, I left me having taken that I left in so I said, two Shido. I sang Shido was a Lucy, take a little near a jacket, a acre to other. You know, I do the yogi. Senior, lunch out there, ya atuta, atuta, Matino, you know, time atuta, think of it. I'll buy Quillo, boy, Mamma Tana. Think all, put a mess of Kurai, time, my jacket. Every tiny come her, no Joe yoga. You consider dead. The Niama Koni, Queenie, Koni, Solution. You consider her. Queen Jam Shito, T-Brown, put her internet. Heading near Savila, which I gave a kind of wood like before that. Your Dorita, she 10 hours to it. A poco wango, positively, Mamma Tar. Mama Tara time up, a use it here, wind up to the Kanaku, her, Hanjet, me, the roller with a Namako. You don't let me definitely see. Who name up, sing me, you. Tayo, area will leave you there. Tiny area will be near she was peach people. To the tiny camera, she of the Kunet who might have been in January over time in the don't let any time will open up. The don't let that time will lower days now. Joey, not able to buy it.
Meditation can be defined as the work of calming or stilling the mental heat in the form or arising in the form of lust, raga, hatred, dosa, and delusion, moha. And these, raga, dosa, moha, tend to torment the mind. Now, it is only if the body is calm and still, motionless, that the mind can be calm. And the posture that is recommended for meditation practice is clearly, at least in the beginning, is the sitting posture. The walking posture, when one walks very slowly, one may tremble. And as for the standing posture, that one too may not be so easy to maintain it for a longer period of time. One may lose one's balance. And it is not a certain posture. Now, as for the lying posture, it is too relaxed. When the body and the head is resting on the bed and the eyes are closed, then one will not exert any mental effort. And the consequence will be that soon one will fall asleep. Therefore, for beginning meditators, the most appropriate posture is the sitting posture, and not the walking posture, standing posture, and lying posture. Now, when one does the sitting meditation, or when one takes up the sitting posture, one should keep one's back as upright as possible. And it is not difficult to see that if the back is arched, then very soon it will cause discomfort in the place where the back is bent. And so therefore the meditators are advised to keep the upper body as upright as possible at a 90-degree angle to the floor. And once again, only if the body is calmed, or is calm and still, can the mind become calm and still. The Buddha, therefore, has recommended to practice foremost in the sitting posture. Now, when you choose a sitting posture, don't choose don't sit in a very relaxed manner. And so, if you lean against it, or if you sit on a chair, you may do so, but please do not lean against the backrest. So it's important to sit in a firm and stable manner.
တက်ထိုင်ရမယ်ဆိုလို့တကူလုံးလည်းညီတရအောင်အဲဒီတကူလုံးတွေကလက်ချီကောင်းစရှိတဲ့အစိတ်ပိုင်းတွေလည်းညီတရအောင်လက်ချောင်းလေးတွေကအစမျက်လုံးပိတ်တာဖွင့်တာကအစပါလေဒီမှာတဏှာကြီးထိုင်းနေပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲဒီအစိတ်လေးပိတ်အစိတ်ပိုင်းလေးတွေကအစနည်းနည်းလေးမှလှုပ်ရှားမှုမရှိတော့သူ့တဘာဝတိုင်းလှုပ်ရှားသွားတာတော့ဒါတော့မတတ်နိုင်ဘူးကိုကဒီတဏှာကြီးပြောမှာဘာမှမလှုပ်ရှားစေရဘူးဆိုတဲ့အနေနဲ့ဒိဋ္ဌံထားပြီးတော့ပြုလုပ်ပြီးတော့ပေါ့ဒိဋ္ဌံထားပြီးတော့အထုံးမှတကူလုံးလည်းငြိမ်တယ်တကူလုံးလေးအစိတ်ပိုင်းနေလည်းငြိမ်တယ်အဒီခွက်လေးတွေအဆက်ငြိမ်တယ်အဲလိုကိုငြိမ်ပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်စိတ်ကိုလည်းပဲကိုထားရအာယုံမှာပေါ့ရာဂဒေါသနဲ့လှုပ်ရှားခြင်းရှိပဲနဲ့ညီတဲ့အောင်ထားတယ်ထိုင်လိုက်တောင်းလောက်နေလိုက်ပြင်လိုက်ရွှေ့လိုက်ပြောင်းလိုက်လက်ပိုက်လိုက်စသည်ဟိုကြည့်လိုက်ဆိုရင်တော့အဲ့ဒါတော့ကိုယ်ကမငြိမ်တော့စိတ်လည်းညီတဲ့အောင်ထားလို့ရအောင်ပေါ့အဲ့ဒါလို့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့ချိန်သာကုန်သွားတယ်တမာရီရမှာမဟုတ်ပါဘူး
Now, when we say that that one should sit calmly, then this means, or when we say that the whole body should be kept still, then this includes that all parts of the body too have to be calm and still, including the eyes, the fingers, etc. There should not be any intentional movements of the body or parts of the body, apart from movements which occur naturally. And at the beginning of a sitting, you should make a determination, an adhitthana, not to move during the sitting, not to move the body, nor to move any of the parts of the body. And it is only then that the mind will also become calm and still. And only then will there be a chance for raga, dosa and moha, for these mental impurities to be calmed. If one moves and shifts and adjusts one's sitting posture all the time, then it will be just a waste of time, and one will not be able to develop concentration. Now, having chosen an appropriate sitting posture and keeping the upper body upright, the next thing to do is to focus the mind on the abdomen and to keep the breathing natural. This means not to intentionally accelerate the breathing, nor to slow down the breathing when it is fast. Just to note and observe the breathing as it is, as it naturally is. So basically, not to manipulate the rising and falling, or the breathing. Now, then we have to observe the abdomen. And the rising and falling movement of the abdomen is just a concept. The true nature consists of tension, stiffness, etc., various sensations. Now we discern three different levels of understanding. The first one is the form or shape of the abdomen, which is given in Pali as Santana Panyati. The next one is the manner or mode of the abdomen, Akara. And the third level of understanding is seeing the true nature of the abdomen, in Pali given as Sabhava. And it is in order to know this true nature of the abdomen that we have to focus on the abdomen and exert the mind, exert effort.
စုစိတ်ကလိုက်ပါဆိုတဲ့စကားအဲ့ဒါလေးနည်းနည်းရှင်းရမှာပေါ့စာရွေးနဲ့ဉာဏ်ရွေးပေါ့ဒီပေါင်းဆက်ပြီးတော့နီးကြရမှာပေါ့ရှုလိုက်လို့ဝမ်းဘက်ကဖောင်းတက်လာရှိတ်လိုက်လို့ဝမ်းဘက်ကပိန်ကြသွားတယ်တန်တန်လေးဖောင်းနေပိန်တယ်လို့ပြောကြပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီဖောင်းကြိုက်ကာလာလေးပါလက်လက်ဆက်ဆက်ပူနွေးနွေးရှိနေလို့အခါလေးပါပေါ့ဖောင်းလာလေလွန်သွားတယ်လည်းမဟုတ်သေးဘူးမဖောင်းသေးတာလည်းမဟုတ်ဘူးဖောင်းနေတဲ့အချိန်ထိုက်တန်လေးပါပေါ့ဖောင်းမှုပုံကြိုက်စိတ်အားစိတ်နိုးကြတိတ်ကြွပြီးတော့ဖြတ်လက်ပူနွေးတဲ့အားစိတ်ကိုအထုံးမှုတွေပါရတယ်ပိန်မှုပေါ်ရဲ့စိတ်အားစိတ်အဲ့ဒီအားစိတ်မှုကများသွားပြီချင်းလည်းပဲရှုခွင့်အာရုံကြော်သွားနိုင်တယ်လွန်သွားတယ်လွဲသွားနိုင်တယ်နည်းလို့ရှိရင်လည်းပဲမမှီဘူးအဲ့တော့အလောတော်လေးဖြစ်အောင်ဆိုပြီးတော့ယူရတယ်ချင်းရတယ်မှန်းရတယ်စုစိုက်ပြီးတော့ယူချင်းထားရတယ်အဲ့ဒါလည်းလိုအပ်ပါတယ်တိတ်ချင်းယူပြီးတော့ရှိရင်ချိန်မဟုတ်ပါဘူးပြောနေတာကကြားပါတယ်တော့အဲ့ဒါပါစိတ်အားစိုက်ပြီးတော့ချိန်သားကြိုက်ဆိုတော့အဲ့လိုပြုလုပ်တာအဲ့ဒါကိုအားစိုက်ပြီးတော့ချိန်ပြီးတော့ဒီလိုလေးရှိရင်အာယုံနဲ့တဲ့ပြီးတော့ရောက်သွားတော့တာပါပဲဖောင်းမှုအာယုံနဲ့ပိန်မှုအာယုံနဲ့အဲ့ဒီစီထိတိမိမိဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ရှိမှတဲ့စီရောက်သွားတော့အဲ့ဒါကိုပဲစုစိတ်ကလိုက်တယ်လို့ဒီလိုဆိုပါတယ်တော့အဲ့ဒီစွမ်းအားနှစ်ခုကတော့အာယုပေါ်တိုင်းပါအမြဲတမ်းပါနေတယ်ဆိုပါတယ်
The term to focus the mind on the object in a concentrated manner should be or will be further or requires further explanation both from a theoretical and practical point of view. When we inhale, the rising movement takes place, and when we exhale, the falling movement of the abdomen takes place. When the rising movement takes place, we have to note and observe it while it is fresh. And also we need to do so with well, in an urgent, energetic, dynamic manner, in a warm manner, literally speaking. And also, when the falling movement takes place, we need to exert effort. We need to aim the mind at the object and exert effort. If the effort is in excess, then the mind will overshoot the object. On the other hand, when effort is lacking, the mind will fall short of the object, and thus it will not be able to reach the object. So what we need is just the right amount of effort, neither too much, neither being excessive effort nor lacking in effort. And if these two mental factors, aiming and effort, are present, then the mind will reach the object and it will be in contact with the object. It will be sticking to the object. And it is said that these two factors, namely aiming and effort, should be present at all times in one's meditation.
Okay, begin by Shukwen Ayo never day on you check on it about Shukwen on the Shimatis day on. There be the Shukwen Ayo put it together. TD Mimi Pio, you look at the volume. That is the Shimatis say Yauka. Shukwen Ayo the Shimatis say Yauka. Pamu Pemu Ayo the Shimatis say Yauka. Don't agaro a side door. As I did the word side door. Only the 6 years ago. Pines is 6 years ago. Pound Pinu, my yoga. I say I get the word. You are changing the pillow. I only must say never TV TV. Chukwe, I was the aside yoga solution. A Shukwen Ayo, Mimi Yaya, Kidora Molosera Pamidora, Hera Sati. Eddie never the canali said Java, Era Somali. Eddie said he's my people, so I she rang up. Kona, you are soon moon. I've never seen a TV she will say your trouble. Please, so low my. There is one piece of one receiver. The team at Wadi, a little shit like that.
While the rising movement, the rising and falling movement takes place, one must focus or aim one's mind on the object, and in order to align the mind with the object. And then secondly, the mind has to be in contact with the object, and so this has the nature of rubbing. And furthermore, the mind, or the nature of exertion of effort in this context, is to penetrate the object of observation. Now, if proper aiming is present, and the mind is falling on the object, reaching the object, then the mind will rub the object and one will be aware of the object. So this awareness is sati, mindfulness. And based on continuous awareness, concentration, samadhi will arise. So when the two factors, the most important factors of aiming and effort are present, then mindfulness, sati, and concentration, samadhi, will arise automatically. So, for better understanding, the Venerable Sayadaw would like to give us a comparison. During a meal, you try to pick up or pierce into a morsel of food with the help of a fork. In order to pick up a morsel of food, you need to aim at that certain morsel of food, or that piece of food. And also you need to make some effort. If there's no aiming, but one is making effort, one will not be able to pick up that morsel of food. And if there is aiming, but one does not make effort, then again one will not be able to pick up that desired food item. So both factors, aiming and effort, have to be present. And when both factors are there, one will be able to pick up the desired piece of food or chunk of food. So the meditation practice is similar to this example. Now, in nature, it is the same thing for other predominant objects arising in the body or in the mind. When walking, during the lifting process, moving process, and dropping process, it's the same thing. And whatever other object may arise, we have to apply the same to factors. And since the time is up, let us stop for today, and the talk will be continued tomorrow night. Sadhu.